Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in this exclusive special. This is the exclusive first conversation with Justin Patterson since signing on to become the Marywood Pacers men's lacrosse head coach. I'm very excited for this. We get to talk off the air and catch up a little bit here. And now we get to talk on the air with you in this all new Pacer Pride and our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Marywood University. So a big time welcome officially to the Marywood family to Justin Patterson. Justin, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me. Very excited to get started.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see that you're in the new digs. You're in the office. I see there's some green and gold all over the place. There's a Pacer logo. So how are you fitting into being on campus?
Good. It was a long first week here, trying to get settled in and everything, get the keys, having the freshmen move in on Saturday, was able to meet with them. And then tonight we have our first team meeting. So I'm going to be able to put some names to a couple faces tonight.
Yeah, and for you, I know that when you and I were talking, you said, hey, I got to make some recruiting calls and do that and whatever. How has that gone for you, right? To take over a program where there were already recruiting relationships that were being built or had been built. So how have the conversations gone with trying to, keep continuity with this team?
The recruiting's actually gone very good. The first thing I did last Monday was come in and, reach out to a lot of recruits that I saw this past summer, as I was still going to, camps and showcases and tournaments. So, I was still talking to kids over the summer, not exactly knowing where I was going to end up, but happy I'm here in Marywood. And so the first Monday I was sending a lot of emails out and, was able to talk to a good amount of recruits last week and, looking forward to building that relationship and hopefully getting them on campus here in the next couple of weeks and meet with them and their families and hopefully welcome them to the Pacer family.
And when you look at the current team and the guys that are already comprising this, like you said, get to put some faces to names and whatnot because you've tried to connect with them as well. What's the conversation been like with the current team?
Everyone seems really excited. The week after I got hired, I had, individual phone calls with each of the guys that, they're about 5 to 10 minutes long, just getting to know them, their major, where they're from, what do they look for as far as, maybe offense or defenses goes, or, what they look like, what they look for as far as practices goes, how things have been ran in the past, academically, how are they doing, and the final part of that call was, we're all excited to get going, get out on the field. We're starting a little later and then to September, but we're definitely getting excited.
For you, there's the art of, and in many coaches situations, the art of finding that way to connect with those that you didn't recruit and then build on the ones that had been recruited while also going and finding your own. The art of the dance, I know that it's only a few days in, but how do you tackle something like this? And how do you feel, you have tackled something like this with coming onto a team saying, hey, I know you don't know me and I know you were here last year, but this is what I'm about. And then to tell the recruits like, hey, I know that you were maybe considering coming here and the coaching, change happened. So this is what I'm about and this is what I'm looking for. And then maybe to look at some of those lists and say, okay, well, this guy that was being recruited maybe doesn't fit. This guy fits a little bit better because you have your philosophy and you have your style that's all your own. So how do you dance with all of that and make sure that you're creating, an atmosphere where the guys that want to come back have the opportunity to, and at the same time, that you're, obviously taking the time to build those relationships, but also foster your own program?
Yeah, I think it's really comes down to just building a relationship with all the players individually. Something we'll start next week is we'll have academic meetings one-on-one with the guys to see how they're doing and progressively there. But, during that, it's all about building that relationship with them and, going back to that talk I had, what are they looking for? Something I tell them is I always have an open door policy. They can always come in and, talk to me about whatever it may be, academics, athletically, socially, so building that relationship. And that goes the same with the recruits too. There's times that you might be talking to a recruit and they want a major that's not here. And, you don't really push for them to come. you want what's best for the student athletes, and, you want to make sure you're recruiting the right student athletes that, fit both academically and athletically. So, it just comes down to building that relationship with them.
How have you learned how to positively build relationships? Obviously we go through life and we learn different things that work, and then we take some things out that we think don't. How would you define how you go about building relationships?
I think it comes with those meetings, and making sure that the guys have trust in you. But I think that's the biggest thing. They're going to be looking up to me as the leader to lead them, and off the field and on the field. They had a pretty good season last year on the field, and off the field as well. Academically, they were pretty good too. So we're going to look to continue that, and I'm just hoping that the players trust me, and going forward and continuing this success, and building this foundation and having a good team culture that something that I was very happy about, and in taking this job, and so looking to continue that.
Here with Justin Patterson in our Pacer Pride exclusive special on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, here with you as you have our new Pacer Prides coming to you to round out the week on Wake Up Call, typically around 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, Fridays weekly. So here inside of the Cafe Kubal studios on Wake Up Call, Justin and I speaking on him being hired as the Marywood Pacers men's lacrosse head coach. You talked about the fact that you liked the culture already at Marywood. How would you define what the culture looked like when you were looking at taking this job?
I had a lot of conversations with, some of the other coaches around here that, my big thing was, how is the team as far as the team culture and the relationship that they build with each other. Academics also plays a factor in that team culture. And, they told me that, this is one of the tightest teams on campus. They're always doing things together. They're staying out of trouble, which is obviously huge. So that's something that really I really liked about this team. It's tough going into a team that has maybe not a good culture, not as strong as a culture, and trying to build that. So it's nice to know that there's already a good team culture here, and we're going to look to continue to build on that. Through some team bonding activities, really build that team chemistry. And I think that's having that team culture translates over to the field.
And for you, Justin, where do you pull from? I know you have some books behind you. I don't know if they have any significance. So I mean, is there something in the office that maybe you've read, or something that you've had that's helped you to not only build your plan, but that you can maybe revert back to if you're looking for a statement or two that really stuck out to you? Do you have something that you can reach out to?
I wouldn't say necessarily, through my 8 years of coaching, and then, all the way back to my high school and college days as well, building that chemistry and that culture, goes to, having those team bonding activities. It goes back to having that trust, making sure they trust you, and, you can trust them as well. So, I think, stuff that I've done in the past, and, from even my playing days, can really help build that team culture, and, I'll continue to bring those aspects into Marywood.
And when you look at Marywood, you said that you like the fact that you talked to other coaches and you saw that the culture was here, and that made you feel good. What else did you like about Marywood University?
One thing I really liked was, I thought the campus it's a beautiful campus. It's not a huge campus, but I thought it was absolutely beautiful just walking around here. And then obviously the success that they had last year, and finishing third in the conference, making the playoffs. Cabrini's the -- 1 team in this conference, and I'm hoping to that we can get there. But definitely the success that they had last year. The coaching staff was the coaching staff of the year, bringing back the rookie of the year. 5 all conference players. One of the top face-off guys in the conference. So the overall success was definitely a big part of that as well.
And you're coming to Marywood University from Utica. And looking back at your time in Utica when you were coaching there, coming to the team from Utica University, obviously in New York, that I know very well, not too far away from my hometown of Syracuse, New York. You were the interim head men's lacrosse coach for the spring 2022 season. And before that, an assistant coach from 2019 to 2021 there. What did you take away from Utica University and being the offensive coordinator as well as serving as an interim head coach?
I think, I learned a lot there as far as, the recruiting aspect. The head coach who was there, Mike Parnell, he taught me a lot. He was a great mentor. Unfortunately, he passed away due to COVID. And that's how I got the interim tag. But, being the interim, I think gave me that experience, even though it was only for, 5 or 6 months, but it gave me that experience of, being a head coach as far as, not only the recruiting aspect, but, taking over, a larger role as far as, having to manage your budget, be able to get buses and food and meals and prepare for team travel and, scheduling games. I think, getting that experience as the interim head coach definitely helped me, and progress into this role as taking over as the head coach here. As far as my time as an assistant, learning stuff from, Coach Parnell, like I said, but, also, learning and putting in different offenses as I was the offensive coordinator, and, really adjusting to how players are and, what fits best for your players, and that's definitely going to be something that I'm going to have to adjust to here at Marywood, after that first week of practice, being able to see what our guys can do and maybe what offense works best and what defense works best and really progress into that.
Do you have a style that you would like to play offensively and defensively? Do you want to kind of see who you have and what you have for this season and maybe navigate it toward the talent that you have, or do you want to kind of structure them into a plan you already have? How do you look at that?
Yeah, so offensively, I'll run out of a bunch of different stuff. 1-4-1, 2-3-1, 1-3-2, an open set. We'll have a bunch of different stuff, but it ultimately comes to what fits our guys best. I had talks, like I said, when I had those talks with those guys, I asked what they like to run offensively and defensively, and there was definitely a wide variety of
Okay.
of what everyone wanted to run. So
Yeah.
we'll have to go back and see what works best. But defensively it goes the same way too. Whether we want to play man to man or zone, and we'll have different packages that we'll see what fits the team best. That's like I said, that's going to come with the first week of practice. Probably more the first 2 weeks and getting to know the guys. We're only allowed 15 practices in the fall, so it's not a lot of time, but it should be enough time to at least evaluate our guys and see what offensive and defensive strategies will work best for us, and then transition them into the spring season.
Do you have preferences in a perfect world? Do you have an offensive and defensive preference?
Not really. No, I like to have a lot of different sets. Especially depending once we get to the spring season, depending on who we're playing, after scouting them, we might have to change up our complete game plan from the game before, or, maybe it's the same exact game plan that's going to work. So I don't really necessarily have a preference. I like to have a lot of options.
Fair enough. Justin Patterson here with us, Marywood University men's lacrosse new head coach here in this exclusive Pacer Pride, in the first conversation that you will see with Justin Patterson since accepting the job here. And Justin, for you, we've talked a lot about coaching, coming in, your style, getting to know the team, all of these things, but it started somewhere. When did you fall in love with lacrosse, and why did you fall in love with lacrosse?
It really started when I was growing up in like 4th and 5th grade, and I just continued to play, and had a very successful team at Corning East where I was high school. My senior year, we were top 25 in the nation both years, and I was able to get an athletic scholarship to CW Post, and won a national championship there as a freshman, a 4-year starter. And, my senior year there is really when I determined that I wanted to get into coaching. And so, I've been at a couple schools at the Division II and Division III level, but, my senior year was really when I was like, wow, I think I could be a pretty good coach at this. And, I want to continue to be involved in the game. And so, ever since I graduated, I've, been a college lacrosse coach, and I love it.
Not everybody can say that, obviously, but after you finished up playing, you got to move into coaching. Like you said, Division II, Division III level, had some different stops here that you've had. And we talked about Utica University, also Adrian College, Assumption College, which is D2, and Houghton College as well. When you look back at all of your experience on the sideline as a coach, what do you think have been the biggest teaching lessons that you've taken up to this point?
I mean, I've definitely learned something at every single one of them, as far as from all my mentors and all the head coaches, as I was an assistant at all those places, and, continuing to learn from those coaches, whether that be recruiting or, whether it would be on the field stuff, something that I really picked up from, Assumption and Adrian that sticks out is learning to coach goalies. And, I was able to bring that to Utica, and I think really helped with our goalies from there. So, the biggest thing I think is that I continued to learn at all these stops. I was an offensive guy. I played attack, and, as you know, I'm the offensive coordinator at all my stops, but, a lot of these stops that I've been at, the head coach was a defense. So, learning different defensive sets, man-to-man zone, that's different drills. That's definitely been helpful as well. And, I had to take on a little bit more of a lead role as the defensive coach, as the interim head coach at Utica last year. So, just being able to learn at all these stops has been absolutely huge. And, I credit it a lot to my coaching.
You said that at Utica University, the head coach, you took over as an interim head coach because that coach had passed away due to COVID, something that we didn't say a couple of years ago because it wasn't here. It's been a unique past couple of years. How did you handle having a mentor pass away and being in a unique situation there? And more than anything, I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, thank you. It was definitely tough. It was tough to tell the guys when it happened. Me and the athletic director did that together. But the biggest thing was just being able to make sure the guys were staying focused on, and playing and knowing what they had to play for. At the end of the season, I go, guys, I couldn't have asked for a better season. A lot of teams would just crumble under these circumstances, but you guys continued to go out and have success on the field, and there was nothing I was more proud of. So, I think that was honestly my biggest accomplishment from last year was, being able to rally those guys and, still have a successful season. Didn't turn out obviously the way we wanted it to with making the playoffs and everything, but, just being able to get those guys together and rally them together and know that they were here for each other and we all had each other's backs, and, being able to play was definitely huge.
Would you consider that the biggest challenge you've ever had in your coaching career, or is there something else?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, that was definitely a tough situation, and it's something that you never want, any other coach or any players, any student athletes to go through.
So for you, Justin, like you said, you played the game, you played at Corning, you were in the top 25 in the entire nation. Being in Corning, New York, like I said, I'm an upstate New Yorker, central New Yorker, so I know that world. How would you describe Corning to someone who's never been there?
Well, I guess the biggest thing, if you want to talk not athletics, would be the Glass Museum. Everyone hears it's the glass exam, but it's not a huge town, but it was it was voted one of the top 10 most small towns, I think, a couple of years ago or something. But as far as athletically, lacrosse has always been very, very strong in the Corning area. You know, and now that Corning East and Corning West, they were the two high schools there. They're combined now in the Corning Hawks. So it just makes the program even stronger. And, you know, with only being 2 hours from Corning, from Marywood, I'm hoping to be able to pull a couple Corning kids down here for recruiting purposes and continue to build a relationship with them. But, you know, all the sports at Corning are very good. So, you know, hoping to continue to build a relationship with them.
You talked about the fact that Corning is only a couple hours away from Marywood University, exactly 2 hours away. Also is my hometown of Syracuse, New York. It's almost a direct straight line. You get on 81 and you get off 81. That's all you have to do. You just get on. I mean, I remember at my house growing up, which my dad is still at, it's a few minutes. You get onto 81 from the house, and then literally get off exit 188 and make that right, and you're at Marywood within like 4 minutes. So are you looking at all of upstate and central New York? We know that the state of New York is very rich. I know you and I talked off the air about Long Island as well, but the state of New York recruiting wise, when it comes to lacrosse, is extremely rich. And we have a lot of success up here with our lacrosse players in central and upstate New York. So is this a kind of perfect place for you, knowing that the city's a few hours away from Scranton, I think like 3 hours away from Scranton. And then at the same time, you have Corning a couple hours away, Syracuse a couple hours away, and other surrounding places as well in the state of New York.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, a big part of me coming here was that I had those ties to upstate New York. You know, the Syracuse area, like you said, is obviously strong. You know, while I was a Utica, I built some good relationships with some high school coaches in the Syracuse area, and you know, continuing to build those relationships. As you said, you know, only being 2 hours away. You know, and I also coach Gaffer Elite Club team that's kind of out of the southern tier, Corning to Binghamton, Shenango Forks area. So, you know, continuing that relationship, and then, you know, kind of going not off of subject really, but, you know, the downstate Westchester area, and then being from Long Island, you know, I went to school, you know, I was actually the only upstate kid on my team at CW Post. So a lot of my former teammates are coaching in the downstate and Long Island area. So I'm looking to continue those relationships and try to get some guys from them as well. So, you know, definitely want to recruit the Pennsylvania area as well, but, you know, definitely going into upstate New York is definitely going to be a priority when it comes to recruiting.
How would you describe upstate and central New York when it comes to the sport? I know you said it's strong, but how would you describe maybe the type of athlete you get?
You know, I think what you see is kids that are willing to work. You know, they don't just play lacrosse in the spring season from March, April, May, and June. You know, they're, you know, continuing to do summer stuff, June and July. Obviously, there's showcases, there's club ball, but you see a lot of these high school programs now that are, you know, having 2 or 3 practices in the summer as well. And, you know, I think that's a big you know, you see a lot of teams that are doing, you know, fall and winter stuff as well, trying to get their players, their athletes in the weight room and, you know, really pushing them for that. So, you know, I think the work ethic is definitely a huge part of why you see so much success in upstate New York.
That coming here from Justin Patterson, the Marywood Pacers men's lacrosse head coach, here in the exclusive first conversation with Justin since accepting the job. When you accepted the job, as we're here on Wake Up Call inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios, you spoke with Executive Director of Athletics, Pat Murphy. How would you describe the back and forth with Pat and why you felt like he wanted you here? What was that conversation like?
The conversations with Pat was great. You know, I thought we had an initial Zoom interview, and, you know, I thought that went very good. And then, you know, when I came to campus for the in-person interview, I could tell that, you know, he believed that I was the right person for the job. You know, like I said, he did like the ties that I had to upstate New York. So that was a big thing, especially because of lacrosse in the upstate area. So, you know, I'm really just looking to continue building this relationship with him, and, you know, excited to continue that relationship and, you know, hopefully compete for a championship here, and, you know that he made the right choice in hiring me.
like you said, at all your stops, you're an assistant coach. First time that you're the official head coach. Your thoughts about that and stepping into being the leader of a program now?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think I've been ready for this. So like I said previously, getting that experience, for 4 or 5 months in Utica, definitely prepared me for this. But everything I've learned along the way has prepared me for this, and I'm definitely excited to get going here. And like I said, I've only been on campus for a week, but looking to continue to keep going.
And you're going to be not only the head coach of men's lacrosse, but you're also going to be overseeing the Family Fitness Center, and you're responsible for strength and conditioning programs for Marywood's varsity athletics. So what can you say about that side of it in your connection to the 5,000 square foot Lynette Haggerty Family Fitness Center, and then at the same time working in strength and conditioning on top of being a head coach at Marywood?
Yeah, I haven't really been able to get that started. Like I said, only being here for a week, but yeah, I'll be overseeing the fitness center. Concentrating on the again, got the people to work for work study and to kind of oversee that. And as far as the strength and conditioning part, from what I understand is we use the Volt app that kind of breaks down the list for each individual team. So I haven't been able to dig into that really yet. I'm hoping to this week, and then try to get comfortable with that, and then looking forward to building a relationship with all the student athletes here, and helping them any way that I can. So excited to get that going hopefully this week, and looking forward to it.
It's been kind of a whirlwind for you, I'm sure, as things get started here quick and you're getting in to meet the team and getting everything set up. So I definitely appreciate you coming on to the show. We're going to jump right into rapid fire. It's the final part of what we do here. It allows us for many years on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora to get to know you a little bit better. You get to know me. It's questions that have nothing to do with sports. You can throw some things in there, but this is to get to know you as a person. And you also get to put me on the hot seat. And I can tell you, being a coach in any respect, Justin, I'm sure you've never gotten to put a media person on the hot seat. So have some fun with this one. You get 3 and I get 3, and I'm going to let you ask me first.
Oh, all right. Anything
in the world.
All right. So you're from upstate. What's your favorite football team?
From upstate New York. You mean my favorite college, my favorite high school?
Let's go NFL football team.
Okay, NFL football. It makes absolutely no sense with the fact that I'm in upstate New York. So I'm a Jacksonville Jaguar fan.
Oh, all right.
I've been that way since 1995 when the team came out.
When they started, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Fred Taylor fan. I cover the Jaguars. So I actually, this is my 12th year of being on site on location for their home games. And so we actually got to go. I got to go with them all the way to Foxborough a few years ago when they were one step out of the Super Bowl. So,
oh, sweet.
Yeah, I was in Pittsburgh with them. Yeah. And Buffalo actually came down here. One of my good buddies, Shamarko Thomas, was on the team at the time. So it was happy to see him, tough to see him lose, happy the Jaguars won. But yeah, I mean, I definitely love the Bills growing environment up here, and I'm hopeful for the Bills this season is what I'll say.
All right.
My first one for you, I'm going to throw one at you. We'll go back and forth here. Let's get off the lacrosse side of things. What other sport do you love to watch, and who's your favorite team in that sport?
I would go with the NFL.
Okay.
And I'm a big Bills fan. So,
okay.
I also like Yankees baseball, and then one that's kind of out of the ordinary is I'm a huge Duke basketball fan.
That's disrespectful. We're gonna have to edit that out.
I watch every single Duke basketball game every year, unless for some odd reason I really can't. But I'm always trying to stream them or get them somehow on ESPN, and so yeah, that one's a little out of the ordinary. But huge Duke basketball fan.
Can I ask why? Or how
it all started with JJ Redick back in the day when I played basketball throughout my life, all the way throughout high school, and I was a big 3-point shooter, so I kind of fell in love with JJ Redick, and then Greg Paulus, coming from CBA up in Syracuse, I was a huge fan of him as well.
Yeah, that's my alma mater. He was right behind me in school. So
okay, all right, that's where you went. All right.
Yeah, so pretty cool. Okay, so I can give you the Central New York connection, and then we'll just forget about everything else. What's your second question for me?
So you worked for ESPN, correct? So
yes. Yep. 3 affiliates.
What was your favorite part about working for ESPN?
I
Sure,
think
there was a lot.
Yeah, I worked at ESPN in Scranton. That was my first stint. So I was right in downtown Scranton at ESPN 630, 1240, and 96.1 FM. And then I came up to Syracuse for ESPN 1260 AM. And then I went down to Orlando with 1080 AM, which I think is now maybe CBS or something like that. But it was 1080 The Team when I was down there. Favorite part of it, I think, was growing up watching ESPN and then being introduced on there and hearing the ESPN music and the logo being there and everything. I mean, the first hat that I have for my show, shout out to Mark at East Coast Specialties, Mark Burrell, who's fantastic, and he's right there in the town of Carbondale, right in downtown. But he made me a 96.1. He made me the logo, and then he put the Dan Tortora show on the back for me. And I still have that hat hanging on the back of my door in my bedroom. So I'm just very, I mean, I loved the experience of it. I loved being connected to it because I have a lot of respect for what they had built over the years. So I mean, it definitely helped me to build my brand before I started my company, and I'll always appreciate them for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's pretty cool.
My second one for you. What one movie could you watch for the rest of your life and never get sick of?
Oh, that's a tough one. Say Coach Carter.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Coach
Why?
Carter, I like that movie. I think he's a phenomenal coach. And I say that because I think what was it? Maybe last week or something. It was actually on TV, and I watched it. So I don't know exactly how many times I have watched it, but I feel like every time I do see it's on TV, I stop and watch it.
Fair enough. I like that. I like the fact that I watch movies that I own when they're on television, and I'm like, why am I watching commercials? I could just put the DVD in. Yeah. What's your last one for me?
So you're a Marywood grad.
Yeah.
So I guess this could kind of help me out here. What's one thing that you really liked about Marywood, or you liked most about Marywood in your time here?
Well, when I came there, the ratio of girls to guys was 10-1. So, but I will say that what I love most about Marywood is the fact that I started my career there. So, MU courtside, which is, the logo and the name and what's men's basketball and women's basketball live broadcasts on the radio and television station simultaneously. That's what I called them. That's what they became. And I built that. And that was my first show. And the newest iteration of that Brendan Murphy oversaw was absolutely incredible. And to see that was something that was carried through over a decade and hopefully carries on. It's where I started my career. It's where I got to put my name on something. I was the school's first ever sports director. I was the school's first ever station manager for back-to-back years because they never let somebody do it for 2 years. And I did it for 50% of my college career. I created new shows. I literally set up the studio, the TV studio. I painted the desk that was used in there. So, and I created the ticker, the ESPN ticker that you would see. I taught myself how to do it, and I created the ticker by myself in the TV control room on like a Saturday or a Sunday. So I would say, I started so many things there. I built so many things there. I got the experience there. I walked through the door and they're like, you're going on the radio in a week. And I was like, okay. And I was on 91.5 at the time, and I was 91.7. And they give you an alternative show and then you can create your own. And I got to create 4 of my own individual music-based broadcasts. And I thought that was a lot of fun for me to sit in the studio. It taught me how to use a board. And if you know how to use one board, you kind of know how to use them all, because there's like things that are the same within it. So, I mean, Marywood taught me how to be a technician. It taught me to an extent. I mean, I'm not saying I can, go and put up a cell tower, but can I rig an old television that's inside of a giant piece of wood to like, play a DVD or get online? So, I mean, there's a lot of things that I've been able to do. So I think, the technical side of it, I think screenwriting, I've been able to work in a movie. I was an extra in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So, I mean, everything I learned at Marywood, I've gotten to put a lot of things to use, and I got a ton out of it. I think if anybody's looking at a school to go to for communication arts, you walk through the door and if you have the responsibility and you have the desire and you have the want to, you can take over. And I think it's a place that's ripe for who wants it and how bad do you want it and what are you willing to do to put the work in to get there. And if you come into Marywood University with a desire and a passion and a good work ethic, you're going to get a lot of experience and you're going to be more than prepared to face the real world. Because when I did an internship at Channel 9, they're like, oh, do you know how to edit? And I was like, I know how to edit. I know how to direct. I know how to produce. I ran this show. I had like 9 things. And they're like, well, you're overqualified for the job. And it's good to hear that as a college student when you're trying to work at a professional station. So Marywood University gives you the avenues to take. You just have to be willing to take it. So I would say coming to Marywood, the onus is on you. Everything's there. You just have to have the responsibility and the wherewithal and the work ethic to get out and do it. But they're going to teach you, and they're definitely going to give you the chance to be somebody if you want to be somebody. So I think Marywood sets you up for the future, and I have nothing but good things to say about that.
Awesome. Good. Thanks.
You're welcome. So, just send my retainer there. but my last one for you, if you were president of the United States, this is going to be a multi-part question. So if you were president of the United States, it's 3 things. What would be the first thing you'd want to change about this country? Who would you pick to be your vice president? And what celebrity would you want to sing at your inauguration?
Oh, that's tough. What would I change about this country? Something with gas prices, probably.
Sure. Fair enough. I mean, the fact that the president bonds himself to the state of Pennsylvania and gas is so high in Pennsylvania, I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
If you want to like promote yourself, you probably should at least take your state down a little bit. So
yeah, somehow I would try to fix those a little bit and get them back to what they were like a year ago or so, whatever.
I guess when you're running for president, don't owe them anything, and then you can negotiate.
Yeah. Vice president. I don't know. I'm vice president. I would have to probably try to interview some people. Hold an open interview. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
And then what was the third? Oh, who would sing?
Yeah, it's your inauguration. Favorite band, favorite singer.
So that's because I went and saw him the other night. Chris Stapleton. He's great.
Okay, I like Chris Stapleton. I can agree with that. So that's and I've never asked that question that way before. So making history here with Justin Patterson as we make history with his exclusive first interview since accepting the job at Marywood University as their men's lacrosse head coach. Justin, it's been great to get to know you here on the broadcast of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Marywood University. Definitely looking forward to seeing you get around this team, build this program, and start to put your stamp on it. And would love to come by and hopefully get to see you soon. But I look forward to everything that you're going to build and what we're going to be able to build together here as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dan. I'm definitely excited to get this going.